y'all, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm Nicole from Bushel Designs, and today we are working on a 24-ounce slight tapered tumbler from the Tumbler Supply Store, and I am just coating the whole entire thing with foil glue from Artistic Painting Studio. It is a little bit thick when you're just going right in, and so what I do is I have a water bottle that I just keep here for craft activities, and I just dipped the tip of the paintbrush in it and then dipped it in the glue just to help it spread a little bit easier. And then I'm going to heat it with my heat gun, and you'll know that it's ready when it turns from cloudy to clear. And then I took all of these beautiful foils that I ordered from Artistic Painting Studio. I just wanted a good variety, and I'm just going to randomly place big chunks of foil on this tumbler. So I'm just making it look like a really hot mess. I wanted the sections to be on the larger side, but not overpowering large. So just some big sections, and I'm just taking all of the colors and just placing them right up next to each other. So you can't really blend foils, but you'll see here, I don't want the end of one color to line up exactly where the other color ends. So I'm just kind of staggering them and making some bigger than the other, some smaller, and some curve around the other ones. Some transfer a little bit different. You'll see how that lavender one had a little bit of misting areas, I guess you could say, in the middle, but the green and the magenta transferred so smoothly. I don't know, there's something about it. I don't know why it does that, but sometimes it does. But I just continued all the way around. You'll see here this purple one did the same thing. It was just a little bit different when it pulled up. And all I did was go back in and add more foil to it. So it's not a big deal. But I just will let you watch here. I'm not going to make you suffer through me just peeling up foil on the whole thing. But you'll see the general idea. I added a little bit more there on the blue so that it wasn't lined up exactly where the magenta ended. And you'll just see that I'm going to just completely cover this thing in foils. After that, I gave it a coat of epoxy, and then we are going to not sand it and move on to this next step. And all I did was, out of removable vinyl, I cut the same exact leafy shape, and I cut a whole bunch of them because we are covering the whole entire tumbler. And I didn't make a pattern out of it or anything because I wanted to just hand place them so that I knew I had a good placement where I wanted them. And to me, this is so relaxing. I just kind of find it like a jigsaw puzzle, kind of like making them fit together, go together so it doesn't look crowded, but also looking like it's got a lot of leafy coverage. So I just went around and placed that all over the tumbler. I wanted to make sure that there wasn't any spots that looked empty, so I cut apart some of them and just added little sections to areas that I felt could use another little leaf or two. Once that was done, I took it outside and I gave it a good thick-ish coat of Rust-Oleum's white glossy spray paint. I didn't want it to be too thin, and I didn't really want it to dry, so I did go a little heavy-handed. And then I immediately brought it in, and I am taking a scrunched up paper towel and I am just dabbing off areas of that paint. I was going for kind of a look of almost like a frosted window. So you could kind of see through it, but it wasn't completely translucent, but it wasn't completely transparent. I liked the way it gave it some texture as well, since there's really not a lot of other elements going on in this tumbler. I thought that the texture would look kind of cool. And then comes the fun part, peeling up all of those leafy removable vinyl spots. I actually enjoy this because I love seeing the reveal once you peel everything up. I usually just listen to an audiobook or watch a YouTube video or something and just go to town peeling all of those leaves up. I'm trying to be very careful. The paint is dry, but it is still very easily could be scratched. So I'm just taking my needle nose tweezers, and I'm also using my pin weeder at some point to just help peel those off, and I'm going to go around and peel every single leaf off. After that, I'm going to go right in with another coat of epoxy. I am using Counterculture DIY's medium viscosity. And then this wasn't in my original game plan, but I kind of had this idea and thought I'd roll with it. I decided to outline in a very messy, scratchy look with this paint pen. It's a white extra fine. If I had my choice, I would use the Posca paint pens because those, I love those. But in the white, I didn't have an extra fine, so I just had this deco color one on hand, so I decided I would just use that. It still worked perfectly for it. My preference is the Posca ones. I love those ones. So I am going to just scratchily trace the outline for every single leaf, and then I'm gonna go right in and give it a decal. And this one says, "My favorite people call me mom." And I did change the Call Me from the original. I did get it from Creative Fabrica. I just liked this Call Me text a little bit better than the really thin one that came in the original. And then I created an offset, so I put that in white. And then I am using this glittery vinyl from Hobby Lobby. It is very hard to pick up with the transfer tape. I know I've mentioned that before, so I just did a little section at a time, placed all of the SVG on there, and then I decided I was going to also place some hearts just randomly around in some of the open spaces, just to kind of bring in some of that color from the SVG to around the tumbler and bring in the little hearts because we all love moms. And then I gave it a final coat of epoxy, 2 final coats actually. And this beauty was all done. Look how beautiful that glitter vinyl looks under epoxy. It's so pretty. I love the way it came out. I see that texture where you can kind of still see some of the colors underneath, but it's not a huge burst of color from the foils. I love that it gave it that little bit extra of texture look. And that's it. I hope that I have inspired you in one way or another. I would love to see your creations if you do something like this. And as usual, I will leave all of the information where to find me and all of the products that I use down in the description box. Don't forget, there's also some discount codes down there for you. And I will be back tomorrow for our very last installment of the Mom Inspired series. So don't forget to check back because this one is my favorite by far. I saved it for last. So I will see y'all then. Have a good night, and I will be back tomorrow. Bye, y'all.